The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact Boss Security today for all your business and home security needs. Welcome back to Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV Big Fox. I'm your host, Frank Acomb. We are broadcasting from the Heselson studio, and this is the Steuben County Office for the Aging section of our program. Steuben County Office for the Aging, committed to maximizing quality of life, safety, and independence. Joining us in the Heselson studio, Gary, this is your first time on the show.
It is. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for your debut. I appreciate it.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm sure you get this question all the time. Explain to us what the Great Falls Council is, what the merger was. Let's start from the bare minimum.
Absolutely. The Great Falls Council of Scouting America is the Boy Scout Council that represents the scouting program throughout 15 counties in the Twin Tiers and Western New York. It provides the scouting program Cub Scouts, Scouts BSA, Exploring, Venturing, Sea Scouts throughout that area to more than 5,500 young people.
Wow.
And more than 2,000 volunteers throughout that area. So the merger happened in November 1st of 2024. Okay. It brought together the predecessor council, the Five Rivers Council, which was down here based in Elmira for 40, 50 years.
I was going to say for as long as anybody remembers. Yeah,
a long time. Yes, absolutely. And I previously actually served in that council. A great experience and wonderful scouting program down here. It brought together the Five Rivers Council and the Western New York Scout Council, which is based in Buffalo and also services kids in the Batavia area.
Okay.
And it was brought together to really expand and increase the scouting program opportunities for our kids. That was our number one goal. How do we provide a stronger and better program for our youth members?
Yeah. And what did the merger encompass? How long was this whole idea from beginning to fruition? How long did it take?
Yeah, probably about 6 to 8 months of discussions behind the scenes. Our boards had a series of conversations, first to see, did it even make sense?
Sure.
Well, what were the pluses and minuses of doing a merger? Then formal merger study committees were formed. They met on a regular basis to look at all aspects of our operation, everything from not only the program we deliver to our kids, but staffing levels, operations, governance, financial resources, all that sort of stuff to make sure that it really made sense for everyone involved.
15 counties, that sounds like a lot.
It's a lot
of travel.
A lot of travel at times, right? We're blessed, we're a volunteer-run organization with staff support. So we have a staff team of about 20 people.
Okay.
But we're blessed to have more than 2,000 volunteers throughout the area who help us deliver the program.
Wow.
And so, but we also have 3 different offices. So there's offices in all of our primary communities. So there's one here still in Elmira, Buffalo, and then Batavia. Okay. So there's still the local community aspect that the scouting program has always had.
What did you find to be the biggest challenges with this merger?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenges were just, taking a look at the geography, right?
Right.
How does it work, right?
Yeah.
And also the fact that, for years everybody was used to being their own separate council, and what does a council look like when it expands? Mm-hmm. I think the exciting part of that, though, was everybody quickly realized we could do so much more, right? Yeah. There were economies of scale that allowed us to really be able to diversify and truly be able to provide more programs to our kids than we could do independently.
What would you say, other than that you kind of just alluded to, what have been some of the positives as this has unfolded?
Yeah, from day one, I truly believe we provided more and better programs for our kids. There were just more opportunities for them. We also, like many organizations in a post-merger environment, we're struggling to have enough volunteers in all of our different committees and to support those programs. And all of a sudden, committees that were only 1 or 2 people were doubled or tripled in size, right? And so it gave us the opportunity to expand those and just have more resources available. Financially, it certainly helped as well. It put the council on a stronger financial footing than it was coming out of the COVID environment, which is challenging for most youth development organizations.
Oh, sure. When you look back at the process, and I'm sure as we kind of joke, people have so many questions, how have you been able to get the word out about it, the merger, and maybe kind of, for lack of a better word, ease people's minds so they know exactly what it is?
I think the proof is always in the pudding, right?
Yeah,
it's
right.
What we actually deliver to our kids fundamentally, but through a variety of different ways. And one is like an opportunities like today, the opportunity you've afforded to us. And again, thank you for that.
Of course.
To get out and use media to our advantage, to talk, whether it be TV, radio, other forums. We've also done a lot of social media. We work really hard on social media, right? Because so many families get information from that. We do newsletters. We try to move our events around really so we can, because we recognize kind of coming in the middle for 15 counties is not easy.
Yeah, right.
But we've worked really hard on it. I would say it's a work in progress.
Sure.
Right, as we continue to try to do more and more.
And that's a great way to lead into one of my future questions, but I'll ask it right now. What do you think the future holds for the Great Falls Council?
Yeah, I think we're just really starting to hit our stride, really trying to hit our rhythm now, right? The first 6-8 months, you're getting to know each other. You're figuring out the back office stuff, the stuff that's no fun. Right?
Right.
Now we're getting the stuff that's cool. You know, we have our first ever council-wide camporee scheduled for October.
Oh, wow.
We're excited about that. We hope to have more than 1,000 scouts all together for one camping event for a
That's
weekend.
impressive.
Should be a lot of fun. You know, I think you're going to see more and more as we share resources and we share knowledge. I think you're going to see our camp programs really elevate and become even stronger. And I just think our overall operations will get better, and I think we'll see more and more kids join the program.
Mm-hmm. I think like anything else, people are still, like to your point, getting out of COVID, getting back in that mindset that you can actually do stuff and not just stay in your pajamas all day. Though we all miss that to an extent. But you mentioned the camp, so nothing's changed essentially with the camps other than grown?
Yeah, so we're blessed to have 3 amazing camps. Camp Gorton, which is a traditional camp down here in Five Rivers Council on Juanita Lake, continues to be one of our strong summer camp programs. We have Camp Scout Haven, which is over in western New York, another large summer camp operation for us. And we have a smaller camp, Camp Sam Wood, which is just outside of Letchworth. Okay. And one of the cool things now is our kids can go to any of those programs, not only for summer camp experiences, but also for year-round, whether it be winter camping or other time of the year experiences. And each one of them has some unique aspects that really, so if a scout says, well, I've gone to that camp for 3 years, Mom, Dad, I want to go somewhere else. Great, we have opportunities for them. So
that's great, and I like the idea of expanding and just essentially growing.
Absolutely.
What has your history been with the Scouts?
Yeah, I'm blessed. I had the opportunity to grow up in scouting. I grew up in the Cortland area. I was a Cub Scout, a Boy Scout. I am an Eagle Scout.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I worked on camp staff when I was in grad school, and I didn't actually start working for the Boy Scouts until I'd done some other employment job opportunities for a few years. And then about 20 years ago, I actually went to work for the Boy Scout Council based in Binghamton at the time, and I worked there for a number of years. And I went on and worked in Rochester, and then I had the great pleasure to serve here in the Five Rivers Council as CEO and Scout Executive from 2016 to 2020. And left and went to Buffalo. And then for me, it was really the opportunity to come home and by joining together 2 amazing scouting families of the Five Rivers Council and at that time the Western New York Scout Council. And so,
what drew you back into the Scouts?
You know, I had an amazing experience as a child. It was so incredible, and I never thought that I would do it. And I got back involved because my oldest son got involved in the program. Okay. I became a volunteer at the time, and like we joke, it's only an hour a week, right?
Yeah,
Which it never is.
Never is.
Never is at all.
Yeah.
But when you fall in love with the program, and quite honestly, I saw what scouting provided to my oldest son, the difference that it made in his life. And then when an opening came up at the council in Binghamton at the time, they called me and said, we'd like to have you come on board. I said to my wife, I'll go do this for 2 or 3 years and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And 20 years later, here I am, right?
Not a bad problem to have. Isn't
problem.
it funny how that works, though, sometimes? Start as a volunteer.
I've been blessed. I've been blessed. It's an amazing organization. We work with such amazing, incredible young people who need our program, I think, now more than ever.
Yeah, I would agree. And that's why we talk on this program a lot about community, because there is a kind of a lack of community spirit in some instances. And I don't think anything exemplifies community better than the Scouts. I mean,
yeah, we like to
poster child for it, right?
We like to believe that, absolutely. I mean, one of the core values for us is to teach kids the importance of giving back and making a difference in their community. You know, community service is a requirement for all their badges at all levels annually, and not just the Eagle projects, even for our smallest Cub Scouts, for them to learn the value of giving back to the community and also earning their own way in life, which is really critical, I think, in today's world.
I would agree. Now, before we go, how can people get involved, whether that's adults wanting to volunteer, whether it's kids getting involved? What's the best way to start that process?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're always recruiting. I think we're different than a lot of other youth groups. A young person can actually join our program any day in the year. And
really?
365 days.
Oh, okay.
Well, we primarily recruit kids in the fall, back to school season. Actually, you can join our program anytime. And we're always looking for youth and adult members, as you mentioned. The best ways to do it, we have over 330 units in every single one of our communities throughout our 15 counties. Wow. So the likelihood is that there's a scout troop in or pack in your area. Best way to do it is to go to one of two websites, either beascout.org website, which on that site you literally go in and you type in your zip code and identifies all the units in your local area within proximity to you. You can also go to our council website, which is gfcscouting.org, to find information there on how to join the program, if you're interested in our camps, if you're interested in supporting in any other way.
Well, that's great. Well, thanks for giving us so much time this morning. And also, best of luck with all the camps and all the fun of the merger as it unfolds.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Frank. And please come on out and visit us.
I will.
We'd love to have you.
I'd love to. All right.
Great.
Well, thanks again. All right. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking. Stay with us.